Hello Dino. I always have to set that. Thanks a lot, Mike. I was talking away and I didn't check that anyone could hear me, so thank you. Right. Yeah, it was my end. Yes, I just rabbited on about the usual thing. This thing I am working on, I have to say it again now. This thing I'm working on is um, my graphics sort of terminal project. It's like able to uh, create objects in a scene and move them around by commands over the network. This is Nugget Window, and I'm working on that in Unreal because I want to learn Unreal as well. And I'm also using Blueprints because I want to understand how Blueprints can be used together with C++ in Unreal. And I'm also doing network code. So this is one of these things immediately I had to do network code. Network code's not really that much of a problem, but it's interesting when you've never used Unreal before. It was actually pretty straightforward. And I'm working, and the purpose of this graphics window is so that I can work on the Phi programming language, because it will be a very useful tool for that project, which hopefully I will get to before too long. But I really want to do this before I get to work on that. And this is the most complicated blueprint I've made yet. And it just takes, it's able to listen to a socket and wait for strings to come from the socket using C++ classes, which I can use within the blueprints. It takes the strings in and then it parses the strings to be able to then create the object in the scene. This is working, but I now need to sort of continue to extend it. And I just mapped, I was saying about how it's good to have the mouse in one hand and a keyboard in the other, so that you can just do stuff without moving your arms all the time. So I've just put on the pad here delete, so I can do this. Cool. Now I want to understand why there's a bug in what I've done. I want to understand before I do more stuff. So yeah, if here I put, so this becomes a bit like a console, right? Now there is one that you've got in Unreal, a console that you can type commands in. I could have used that, but what's the fun in that? If I use that, then I've only got that in the editor. This way I can just use a Cygwin terminal window as my console. I don't have two-way communication yet, but that would be possible as well. Yeah, but you know, there are different levels. There's a level beyond Real Programmer. Also a level beyond Beard Too Long. Although I have to say, I can make a sharp point with it. Definitely lock down beard and hair. Anyway, I digress. So if I do make cube, I get a cube. But I should be able to say pos 100, 100, 100. And what it should have done is set a variable or position to 100, 100, 100. So that now when I do make cube, it should make a cube at 100, 100, 100. Oh, and it did work. Why didn't it work the last time I tried this? That's fine. So my cube. Right. Shift F1 apparently. I've always been doing Alt Tab out of that. Okay, well that seemed to work. What about if I do rotation on the axis 45 degrees on axis 001? 45-degree rotation. And then if I say make cube, Oh, it is. It's working absolutely fine there. Okay. So what's nice about that? You put things in any order. You can send the positions first. But there's also the name. That was right. Name foo. So now, if I make a cube, can't see it. But the cube that I just was on top of another cube. But the cube that I just made is now called foo, and I'm going to use those names as part of the API to allow the to allow the you know, through the API you can then control an object that you previously created just by using the name that you gave it. So okay, that's all well and good. And then I think we do have, as where the last thing that I did was that when you create a cube or any object, it's going to put it into a dictionary. That's what we get now, so that then it can be moved. Shall I try doing the command then to move? That'd probably be a good thing to do. So I'm going to put a cube and I'm going to move the cube by using a new command called move. So the command move will use whatever's is the name that was set. So then you can say name foo. Oh no, I can just say name foo position. Oh, position sets the position. Right. I need to have a different thing from make to move, which applies the position. So I suppose I could do move and then you give what it is that you want to move it to, which will then. So if I'm doing that, then it means that when I get the command here, you have to click on here, then click on here, and then go over here, and I can put in here move. So now what we've got is a command move, a new command move. This would actually that's interesting, because I could say move. Maybe I don't want to do a rotation and a position, a translation at the same time. All right, maybe I need to use the command update. And then I say which one. Give the name. Oh, but that's annoying, because then I'd have to sort of send the position each time. If I want to do the rotation, I'd have to update the position. So really I need to be able to, designing the API, I need to be able to specify which the things I want. Well, maybe then I do move, rotate. Already have a rot command. And also it'd be good if it could apply all of them at one go if necessary. Yeah, deciding on the API. Because we could have to position, rotation, and scale, or there could be other properties that I want to modify. That works. All right, I think what I'm going to do is have an apply command. This will make sense, actually. I'll do that. Change my mind. I'll do an apply command, and it'll be apply followed by which of the name of the things that need to be applied. This could use a different format. I could say apply and then a list of different things that I wish to apply. That would fall out of this parsing method to another parsing method. I'm just going to select all of this, move it there. Now, when dealing with the apply, yeah, I quite like that idea. Apply is going to go do a different thing. Now the count, apply should be matter when I do apply. If I follow the same pattern as this, I should probably do apply and have the things that I want applied separated by commas, I suppose. Yeah, actually I'll do that. That'll be apply and then pos, comma, rot, comma, which it is the ones that I want applied for the current name and the current whatever. So then, do I need to store apply? No. Although, yeah, when it finished parsing, it just took. Oh, when it finishes parsing, then we should see what. The command is. Maybe I need to cache the actual command. That would be useful. I don't think I do that yet. So what we need is a variable. Call this one command. And it's going to be a string. To yeah, if it's a command, it should set the command. Thinking about it. So what we need to do is this. That. The last command is the one that will be applied, which means that you can't put more than one command on a line. I don't really see that as being. Because I want to all of the different arguments to be processed before a command is executed. All right, so let's take this command. I'm going to do a set command, make set command to whatever this selection was. That's what we get. It's a make, it will do that. And if it's an apply, it will do that. Oh, wait a minute. No, it should go there. So add making, which is a variable to see what I'm making, but I'm just going to make an applying. Copy paste. No, I can't do that. What I want to do is take applying set here. So then when I finished processing, I can then check which command I want to execute. This whole section here is all creating objects, and this will expand as well. Now at this point, what we could do is start using functions, and it's something I was just thinking. It's like, should I start using functions? And I'm actually thinking no, because the reason to allow this blueprint to become very large is because if I go and take this and I put it inside a function, I start losing one of the advantages of a graph, which is that you can see everything. And if I can't see everything, then, you know, and plus the fact that it's all being developed right now, I'll need to touch every little bit of it, and then I can imagine like having all these separate tabs that these are in is not convenient. It's not the same rule as with you know, the idea that 1,000 lines in a C source file, you know, at that point, mind you, 1,000 lines, graph for 1,000 lines is going to be just so huge it won't even fit on the screen. We shall see, but I'm going to leave it for now. So this block here is all to do with creating objects. Then we're going to have a block which is to do with manipulating objects. So when it finishes parsing the command line, I need to do a switch. God, I hate the typing here. So what I'm going to do is go edit. It's like typing is fine if you're typing all the time, and graphics, you know, drawing with a mouse is fine if you're drawing with a mouse all the time. But when you're doing the mouse and you have to type and you have to switch between mouse and typing, it's really, really irritating. So I'm just going to add to my pad here a new thing. if I can say duplicate this, which is now duplicated, and then I can just edit this. Let me try that again. I hit the wrong one. Edit the name of this. This is going to be switch. And when that happens, we need some text action here, which is just going to just say switch. Close. We're going to do ourselves switch. That's great. Done. Now I should be able to just go, when I want to bring up a switch, I go like this and then hit switch. There it is. Except it's a switch on int. So what I'm going to do is edit that a minute, because in this case I don't want it to automatically sort of activate it, because I'm going to need to choose which kind of switch I want. Let's try that again. So if I undo this like so, and I can try, I go like that, I hit my switch button, which again I can do with my other hand, right? So I don't even hand away from my mouse. Switch, switch, hit done there. Right, switch. There we go. And I just then go switch on string. Now the string we are switching on is going to be command. Get it, patch it. But when the thing is being parsed, we're on default right now, but I can add a pin. The pin's going to be called make. So if the command was make, command is make, it goes to the make thing. Here I can make this go somewhere else. Print message, print string, and the message here is going to be could not, no, unhandled command. I just break that link. It's just not going to go anywhere after that. That's like an error if it failed to find this. So we've got then make, and I can add another pin. Yeah, make another pin, and the pin is going to be called make. No, it's going to be called apply. So now we're going to do an apply, and doing the apply, and then drag this to somewhere else. The apply is going to need to find, it's going to need to find this thing. Now this thing is thing called items. So I can just drag okay, I can just drag item. Where's items? There it is. There's a map called items. Just build it here. I can move it later, right? So get items. This needs to go to a get. Let me add, I'm going to add that as to my thing as well, right? Duplicate this. And there we go. And we edit it. and it's going to be called get, and it needs to change what it's doing to just get different options. So again, I'm to see what happens with that. Done. So then I can just go like this, and then I press get, and there's nothing. But how do I access add? Is it find? Figure out, like utilities, select. This is context sensitive. I just want to read an element out of the array. That's pretty useless context sensitivity. I get rid of that and then just find it. It's like find in map. Use map find. Finds the value associated with the key. This is the one I'm going to find, which is not the command, but the name. That's right. Get name and push that in. So this is going to be able to access or find the object that has a particular name. The apply will be used when I execute something that uses it. Now, problem is I need to understand what I need to get a reference. That's what I need to do. Yes, is get a reference to it. I get the reference here. So I have the reference. So that in fact I need to do something when I've got the reference. I'm already at that point. And the command right. If I look at applying, I'm going to get a set of things separated by commas. So in fact, I'm going to have to parse into an array. So what I'm going to do is take this and do parse into array. Why didn't it connect it? That's weird. Yes, because it's used when I try to get one of them. I need to do a loop though. I have a count variable. I'm going to use that again. So actually what I'm going to do is set count. Oh dear, set count. Do set count, setting count to 0. No, that didn't work. Let's just do it this way. Set. That's better. This is going to set the count to. No, let's try again. This is going, and it's off the wrong side anyway. It should be off here. So when there's an apply, it needs to set the count to 0. Having set the count to 0, I can then iterate through the list. So this one is going to get the first element of the thing, which is going to be a get. That'll come in a minute. Need to get the first element. It's this get. One of these. Maybe I can do the get. No, that gets the items. I'm trying to find how to get this flipping thing. From the return value. From an array. From which array? right? I need to take the variable that I'm parsing and parse into an array. That's correct. Yes. So what you need to do is take applying. This is fun. It's strange how you have to think around it this way, but I have to, because these are like, normally this would be executed as lines of code which are executed. But the thing here is that there is an execution that occurs in here. But this is really a bit weird, because what you've got is an execution chain, which is that. And when you're doing normal coding, this would be involved in all of this as well. I'm still not sure whether it's cool or not, because it certainly is confusing. But the moment we spawn the cube, this requires a transform. And in order to get the transform, it's going to execute a bunch of stuff in here. And so this all executes without needing any execute line. This does have an advantage, which is that it means that can be optimized. That you state what you want, and it can figure out the most efficient way of giving it to you, instead of, having to specify the process of what you want. No program counter, in other words. This is functional. But it doesn't modify state. So therefore it's in the functional paradigm. And that's why there's no program counter through this. It's a little bit weird. So it means as you're constructing this, you have to remember that. So I actually want to get the list of parameters. So I need to take the applying. I need to get this. This is the string. Applying string. I want to break this down. So I guess I can put this into parse into array. And then the return value is an array of all the things I wish to apply. As long as I say here, they were separated by commas. It says cull empty strings. I'm not sure that really. Yeah, I can do that. It's fine. Okay. So the return value, I can then do, because the question was how to get this get. And I do get, but I mean, maybe it's in array. Oh, dear. Array get, set array element, get array, make array, is array, add, find item, get this. This gets a reference to an element of the array. Now, I want to use this counter. I'll clear why in a minute. So the counter is 0 initially, so this gets the first one. And then out of here, eventually, we get our first of the elements that we want to do, which now we need to do a switch on. So then now this is where we dance between the execute, procedural and functional. There I can hit switch, and I want to switch now on string again. That's it. So we're going to switch on a string. How's that? We're going to go through the array, get the first element of the array, and I'm able to switch on it. So from this switch will come the actual application, different bits. The problem here is that I actually need to make, when I eventually apply the transform, I have to do I Okay, for now, what I'm going to do is actually apply each one as they come directly to the object. I was just wondering about efficiency, but I think that's fine. So here we go. We go on there. I'm going to add a pin to this switch, which is going to be going to start with pos. So should one of the things that I apply be pos, which is the only one I'm going to support initially, is that then I'll say apply pos, and it will apply the pos to the object which I named, the currently named object. So that's all good. Now I need to implement pos. Now there is an interesting point here, which is that the implementation of pos means I need to get a pos. It's actually this bit of code here. Maybe I should put this in a function because this is going to repeat itself. So what this code does is takes a string and parses it into a vector. So it actually converts a string to a vector. So that is something I could break down. So what I'm going to try to do, just see if it works, is select this block here and then right click on it, and I've seen this before. It says collapse to function. This is going to be exciting. Now that worked, and that's actually really nice. That I like very much. We've now collapsed that into a function. The problem is fluffy bit there. Right. That's not good. You see, because if you see here, it's gone and objectified it. It's like there's a target, which is actually the same as this. And there's an execution path. In other words, it needs to execute. Why? This is not necessary. And what does this do anyway? You see, it doesn't do anything. Can I ignore it? It's looking at that. This is empty here. Hey, Tropical, how are you doing? Better than my beard, I hope. My beard is really annoying me at the moment. Maybe what I need to do is just go for, if I go for ridiculous, then maybe it's, more authentic. How's that? Is that any better? No. How are you doing it? Right. Yeah, I'm just going to try this and see if it works, because it really bugs me, the fact that it's got this here. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, I've just seen something. It's a guess. I've not tried to do this before, but there's this button here called Pure. Now, if I am right, Pure will make these disappear, because it will turn it into a pure function. Yes! I do like it when I guess right. Well, it's an educated guess. now I really like it. And this makes a lot of sense now because there's no execution path. I didn't need those in there. It's basically source string return value. This function is going to be called something. How do I rename it? Rename the function? Still keeps it in here. But it's like, how do I rename the function? Func. There's rename here, but you can also just click once on it. This is going to be convert. If my beard is going badly, then you're doing greatly. Yeah, I think that means you're all right. I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a bad beard day. It's like a bad beer day. Only different. Sorry. So what do I want to call this function is something that converts. Is that string? I call it string. Oh, come on. My word. String. Can you type, Dino? String. Bad typing day. String to. No, parse vector. That makes much more sense. Parse vector. And there we are, parse vector. That's really nice. And that is a good collapsing of things. And now I can use that wherever I want to use it. So when I get this position here, when I know its position, I need to parse the string. So that is actually this. And we go, well, here we go again. We parse the string by actually wanting the vector. So the next execute action that's going to happen is going to be setting the location of the cube with the reference. Where's the reference? Oh, we haven't got the reference yet. Well, we'll get the reference by asking for it. Back-end programming. Where do you work? I'm just curious. If you can say, I mean, it might be that you work in a top secret facility. What's going on here is that right, when I want to know which object to change, I can theory by tugging on this it will give it to me. So I need to position of an actor of a transform. Set actor location. So if we set the actor, very much the case. I mean, you know, when you're using Unreal, you're just using modifying objects. Not object, not a very nice word. Not like actor. Much better. Don't mind me. I've got to sort of survival process really. Teleport. Don't need to worry about that. So this is actually quite neat there. So when we do an apply, we look at what we're applying And if it's a position, we set the location of the object found by looking it up from the name to the position, which is passed to a vector to here. That, in theory, it feels too good to be true. Oh, I'm not quite finished. And then I need to go back and check for any others from this array. So what then happens is we have to go back to increment the counter. So I suppose I could go here and do increment an int. When we're finished incrementing the int, we go to here, but we need the int, and the int is called count. Never gets old, ever. And do this. See? So we have a loop. It does get the first element, and really that's a bit ugly, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I suppose I need to sort of do a thing here. I suppose I could do this just to try. Ooh, try. Oh, that's not very nice. Kind of an array. What kind of a thing is that? Ugly. Oh. User interface hell. I just want to drag it. All right, let's try. Right click. Move over. Okay, right. So if you're really careful, you can do it now. Okay, I'll have to do it like that. Oh, so you're in Norway. Oh, one of the oldest software vendors of... That's fine. Oh, right, it's working in English now. I swear it wasn't before, or was it just me? I don't know. It's cool. Yes, Mike is now officially a minion. And actually, I just realised something, that you know the word dominion. I'm pretty sure I can make a pretty nice anagram out of the name Dominion. That's got to be worth an investigation, don't you think? So the word dominium definitely has Dino in it. So if we go to Dino in there, and then what we're left with is M I oh dot. Is that right? Well, yeah, it's 8 letters. Dominion. Oh no. The only thing I can make out of that is ID no mum, which is not really very don't know. It must be something better than that. Dino. No. Oh well. Sometimes you hit the jackpot. A Dini minion. Dini minion. Dino minion. It's Dini minion. Yeah. Dino Dini minion. That's a lot of eyes. Dino Dini minion. That hurts my brain. I was like, Dino Din, yeah. Okay, let's just move on. Recommended. But we're talking about AI, you know, so like we need the little paperclip to pop up. I've noticed that you are in fact been talking garbage consistently for the last 15 minutes. Do you want me to blank out the chat page? Would you like to focus? Would you like me to make a very loud bang noise, very loud noise to sort of shake you to your senses? Yeah, you know. Would you like me to surprise you with a very loud noise? Yes or no? You click it and it goes bang. That actually reminds me of a moment when my heart broke in video games. It's one of those moments. Should get the violin. The time that CD-ROMs became a thing, and one of the first CD-ROM game I ever got, I actually bought it. It was published by my publisher at the time, and it was Seventh Guest. And so I was playing Seventh Guest, and it was weird and somewhat compelling until there was the bit with the painting. You see, the problem with Seventh Guest was it had a cursor, and this cursor responded to things. So it kind of showed you what you could click on. So everything was going sort of okay-ish. I remember there was this sort of woman walking across in this big sort of fancy mansion, you know, in the hall. And just for a moment, her face turned from a normal face to some kind of ghostly face and turned back again. And that was, you know, surprise. This is about surprises. It was a dark and stormy night. No. So, because the game, I mean, you know, the game was supposed to be about, like, suspense, and it was a horror game. Yes. There's certain rules about horror, is that if you really want someone to feel the horror, you need to throw surprises at them. It's like, it's not going to be a horror if you telegraph that the horror is about to happen. So back to the mouse. It would show you that something was interactive. And if what it was going to be interactive with was scary, right? Get the if you played Seventh Guest, but if you haven't, and I'm kind of stretching this out because I'm stretching this out in the kind of as a nod towards, you know, the horror story that's told on a dark and stormy night. In fact, it's raining right now. This was absolutely terrifying. That was the point. It rocked me to my core. It shattered my view of video games and the future of video games. I lost all my faith from this moment when the mouse went over a painting on the wall, I remember. See? It's burned into my brain, this horror. The mouse pointer went over the painting and turned into chattering teeth. So I clicked on the painting and it warped in what would have been a disturbing way if the whole thing hadn't been given away by the chattering teeth. And this broke something inside of me. It made me realize that there was a huge problem somewhere, and that problem will probably never be fixed. And I think I was never the same again. It's horrific. Probably the scariest thing I've ever witnessed. I think I better move on. Right, so I think this should work. So I'm going to actually try this out now. Bank chat page. Oh, right, that's from 7 hours ago. Okay, yeah, right. It was a software horror story. I mean, come on. I mean, I can understand having it respond so that you know what is interactable. This is going to be scary. All the work that was put into that game, all the money that was spent on that game, for me personally, I didn't play it anymore. So that's as far as I got up the staircase from the hall. I clicked on that painting with the chattering teeth, and I just turned the game off and never went. I couldn't handle it. It's too scary. Too scary. And that's me, I'm just left there thinking all of that and ruined by chattering teeth. Anyway, let's see if this works. Yeah, me. I do think I had a bit of a kind of warped inspiration in my life from the two Ronnies. I know it sounds sad, but it was this comedy program. But it was Ronnie Corbett would sit there in his comfy chair and he would tell a story, and it was like a bit like a Shaggy Dog tale. It would just drag on and on and on, and he would have so many sort of digressions. In fact, even when I say, but I digress, I think it's inspired by Ronnie Corbett, to be honest. But in spite of all of that, what we've got is it might work or it might not. I don't know. I can just say make cube and I've got a cube. The real test is, can I move it? The answer is probably. The thing is, I forgot to name it. So that cube doesn't have a name. So as such, it's kind of like a zombie cube to carry on with the thing, Maybe I should have chattering teeth on it. It's like a zombie cube. But on the other hand, you could say that its name is no name, is a blank string. So it could be that if I just continue having a blank name, I can actually move it. We'll try. If I set the position to 100, 100, 100, right? And then I do apply pause. This is it. Drum roll. Oh, HAL doesn't do that yet. Okay, here we go. No. Something terrible happened. Errors, warnings, infinite loop detected. Oh. Do I often think about those chattering teeth? I think about it whenever there is. I think about it whenever something that is supposed to be suspenseful is given away by pointless telegraphing. Can you imagine that if they did that with TV shows? It's like, having said that, what's his face? Douglas Adams, genius. Big regret is that I never met Douglas Adams. I'd have loved to have met Douglas Adams. He was just to thank him, because he really was formative in my teenage years. But there was on the TV show of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there is a point about, you know, trying to ensure that people are not too stressed by the by the drama of the situation. And so it kind of, as it was telling, was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was talking in that show, so it was basically telling the story that we were watching, and it said to ensure that there's no undue stress towards anybody, we can reveal that nobody will be significantly harmed in the events that follow. However, to retain a small piece, to retain some kind of suspense. Oh no, that was it. Yeah, so no significant. However, somebody will bruise their elbow, something like that. Will sustain an injury of a bruised elbow. However, in order to retain an element of suspense, we will not reveal who receives the bruise to their elbow. Right? It's just brilliant. Oh, I just love that. It's just how we talk about breaking the fourth wall. This probably broke the fifth wall, that one. It didn't work. Why not? It was stuck in an infinite loop. Why was it stuck in an infinite loop? Because I didn't check if I'd run out of arguments in this loop, you see. That's, that's a rookie error. Look at that. Click here. And can I delete? How do I delete again? There was an incantation. Oh, right. That's the incantation. Delete. That's it. You can delete the node. But all right. Oh God. Just delete this. No, see, that won't delete. It's really weird, the rules. It's just like, and now I'm left with this little dot. It's sort of a dot connected to nothing. Why isn't it deleting? It's not deleting because the context menu was lit up. Oh God, silver paper on fillings for a designer. I mean, it really is. But anyway, what I need to do is to check if I need to check if the count is reached the end of the array. So we get this utterly hideous thing to do here, where I'll need to do a branch so that, we can branch according to the condition, which it starts getting tedious, this actually, because I mean it's like I could have typed this 20 times. It's one line of code. This is half a line of code. It's not even a line of code. In fact, this is the if statement, and the if statement will contain the bit that I'm now trying to do. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I need to do a comparison. These are painful. A comparison with the count. Right, the count. And the count, I could just go here and then do, and it's less than, I think. It won't let me do a less than here. That is really... Oh, okay. I just say less, not less than. That's better. Integer, less than. And when it's true or false goes into the condition. And we're comparing count with what? With the length of the array which was generated from parse into the array, which I need to get to here, but I can't convert that directly. I need to get a length. Length of an array. It's a letter A up the top here. Array length. Flipping heck. And let's try context sensitive and see if that helps. There. Did that time. Length. And there's this really discrete little box here. Its purpose is just to give you the length of an array. It's like huge. And this goes into here. And my graph is getting more messy by the minute. So it's going to set the location to try to do the branch. Right? And it's like if it's less than if it's not off the end of the array, then we need to go back again to all the way to here, where it increments the counter. Oh boy, it increments the counter, and let's double click on this and try to drag it to here. That's it. So hideous. I'm going to just sort of like make a bit of breathing room. But that's just so ugly. I'm going to get more coming from this switch. Okay. Positioning of that's bugging me. It's like, whatever. All right. Let's save that before everything crashes. Did I play Seventh Guest on my Dell Unix machine? That's a good question. I think the answer is yes. I did. I remember the room I was in. I remember what time it was. I don't remember what time it was. Oh, come on. Video cards going through a thing. Let's hit play. We'll try this again. So what I do is I'm connecting to the thing, and I'll just try the same thing I did before. Make cube. The cube appears, and then I'm going to say there it will set position to that, and then say apply position. It was stuck in an infinite loop again. What? How can it be stuck in an infinite loop? Computing. If the value is less than the length. Length of what? Length. This get could be moved up here a bit. It's like get the length. Add it, count to the thing, check that. Oh, no. I'm a little bit suspicious about this link. Probably not that. But let me just try getting the count, reference to the count here, and just do this instead. I don't think that will change it. But I don't understand why that was. I fixed the bug. Oh. Wait a minute. Maybe it didn't apply it. That can happen. Make cube. Position 100, 100, 100. Apply position. What is this? What is that? That's I don't get that. So yes, I'm going to have to resort, I'm afraid, to yes, you know. Oh golly. I've just spotted it. Yeah, it's very silly. Very silly indeed. Incredibly silly. What's happening is it sets it to 0 every time because I've got this in the wrong place. So it's actually, this is bringing to the point of working with blueprints doesn't actually make anything easier. It just removes the typing. Everything I'm doing is just the same as if I was typing, except I don't have to type. And then you can get things like lines in the wrong order, and that's what this is. It's like it's a problem because this set needs to be outside the loop, but it's in the loop. Now, what I could do in Visual Studio in a text editor is select the line and shift it up a couple of lines, and I'm done. So like you can fix that in a moment, in seconds. The problem is that here I have to do the following. Okay, so we need to have that there, and then this needs to be connected first. Well, the problem is that, well, this needs to go into here, and actually I need to go and do this. Actually, that wasn't so bad, but I had to think a lot of thinking time. But that sets to 0 and does the process, and then it goes through back again, increments the value, and then goes in. I think so. But no, it might be that the CD probably the CD just booted. It was like you insert the CD, reboot the computer, and it would just start up, if I remember rightly. So let's save that and try again. All right. So I think I fixed the bug. Let's go and connect to the thing. We try to make a cube. We'll set the position to 100, 100, 100, and then apply position. We've got an error. That's disappointing. But it did actually move the cube, so that was good. And now I've got to find this error. Blueprint runtime error. Attempted. To access index 1. Really? I'm going to put a breakpoint here. I'll have to try this again. Now I'm getting tired of typing in this test case, but that's okay because I can just select it. Boom. Cat into test4. Boom. Have we got Emacs? No. Sig start dot test4 in test4 into Visual Studio. Just get rid of the blank line. Save. So now when I hit play, I can just go into here and then do test4. behavior was different, which is slightly concerning. Hit breakpoint on node. Oh no, it's not. It's because it hit the breakpoint, Dino. You asked for it. That's what are you expecting? You set a breakpoint, it hit the breakpoint. That's true. That's true. That's true, Mike. It wouldn't actually have been Windows 3.1 at all. It would have booted straight into DOS. And probably used DOS 4GW. I don't know if you remember that. Oh, hang on. Stretch. DOS 4GW. What was the purpose of DOS 4GW? Was to deal with the work of a visionary who said 640k should be enough for anybody. Soon it's going to be 640 terabytes are not going to be enough for anybody. Let's have a look at this then. So we're set here. So I need to just check what the value of... It's 1. That's good. The value is 1. Why? I said, that's good. No, it isn't. There was only 1. And there's only 1 element. And if there is only 1 element, then in fact it should never come back when it's 1. Because I've got the order wrong. I'm just... Yeah. You see, this is normally you could do this with like a while loop, and you just the pattern would be so clear and simple. But here, again, I have order of execution error, and these are trickier to see. I suppose you get used to it after a while. But I mean, it's like this plus thing that goes on here. If I can find a place to put my mouse where there isn't a damn tooltip, I need to do the increment before I check the less than, otherwise it won't work. So what we need to do is go from here to here. Then I can probably move this back a bit. That's something else you don't really have to worry about with text, you know. It's like two-dimensional positioning of things. I mean, essentially a text file is one dimension. Yes. What has to happen is that after they'll all come to here. So after doing the operation, we have to increment the count I think that's better. So it comes in, switch on the string, do the operation, add 1 to the value, check it with the branch to make sure, before the branch, check to see, no, it's not before the branch, do the branch, which asks, is the count less than the length of the array? And if the answer is yes, then it does true. And if it's false, it just stops. Okay, let's save that. What com? I used to, way back. What com C? Yeah, what com C++, I think. But yeah, there were always technology companies that were doing things that, you know, were cutting edge, and they just disappeared. Wonder why. So let's go and just do things like this. So the break, I still have my breakpoint set. So let's see, it comes like this, do that. We set the location, we add 1 to it, and then it's done. Done. That doesn't go wrong anymore. That, let's play, we'll switch to this. We'll run the test again. And that's perfect. No errors, and it's moved. So now I have the ability to move the cube, and actually I can just run this again because I sorted out making reconnection. So if I say make cube, if I say make cube name foo, and it didn't work. That is somewhat disappointing, but I think I know the answer as to why. Oh, shouldn't matter. It should have worked. So we go and try this again. So now I'm just going to debug this because it seems to be not working. If I say make cube position 100, 100, 100. Oh, it did work. It's because the position was the same. It just put it on top of the first cube. Okay. Make cube, pause, 100, 100, 100. Make cube, pause, 200, 200, 200. That was make e cube. I haven't not actually, or Mac e cube. I don't know what a Mac is, and I haven't invented the e cube yet. So, right, let's try this. There, so as you can see, it is working. I can add cubes, but then I'm going to try make cube position 0, 0, 0, name foo. Now that cube should be named foo, which means I should be able to specifically move that one. This is a big test because no, that's not been done yet. So what we'll do is say apply pause. I have to say it twice because apply pause, and then they're setting the pause. And you could put this the other way around. I could do the pause first in theory, but if I do apply. No, right, whoa. All right, let's do it a step at a time. So what I'm going to do is put this in another place. So pause 100, 0, 0. So that's changed the internal state of the viewer's position to that. Then I should be able to say apply yeah. I think, let me check where I got the name from. Yeah, it does. It takes it from name. That's what I thought. Yeah, so it's actually, I have to specify the name. So if I wanted to do it, I can just do it a bit at one line at a time. So what I'm going to do is say name foo. It would, in fact, it would have remembered that it was foo, come to think of it. But anyway, the name is foo. The position is 100, 0, 0. Then I apply the position. Hey, works. Let me try restarting this. So we're really getting there. I have to restart it because I want to make the scene blank. I haven't got a facility for actually. Thank you, Tropical. I haven't actually got a facility yet for blanking the scene. So another way of looking at it is I can make a cube and then put it in a position immediately, or I can make the cube and move it afterwards. So if I just say make cube, then the default cube is made because I have never set any of the settings. I can then say position, say 200, 200, 0, for example, and I didn't name it. Yeah, I have to remember the API. Right, try again. So what I have to say is make cube. Let's do all in one go. Make cube, name foo, position 100, 100, 100. Okay, so that has created a cube called foo and put it at 100, 100, 100. Now that it's at 100, 100, 100, I should be able to move it. Because I said name foo and I haven't sent another command, it's going to remember foo because it will remember the last thing that it's been asked to do. So I can then go position 0, 0, 0 and apply pos, and it should pop into the 0 position. So that's really nice. But I can also put this on a line. So a single line, I can say apply pos, 100, 100, 100. That should move it up. Okay, this is working. I should be able to put these in a command line in any order. So I should be able to say 100, 200, 300 is the position I'm setting, and I'm going to apply the position. You do it that way. I should be able to make a second cube. So I make a cube. Name of it is going to be bar, and the position of this is going to be minus 200, 0, 0. Have a new cube. This one is called bar. So now I should be able to move this. I can say name bar, position 0, 0, 0, apply position. Name foo, position 0, 0, 200, 100, apply position. And I put one cube on top of the other. So that's really nice. That validates the API. I want to point out one thing about this API that I've got here. It's old school API. It's got state in it that is remembered, and this reduces the amount of network traffic that is required. I don't know why these things are not done anymore. I mean, generally, the other, I mean, maybe they are. You can tell me if these type of API is. They used to be very common. The original OpenGL was a bit like this. It's basically a state machine, and it remembers the last values that you send in. The inspiration for that, by the way, for me, for that kind of way of thinking of hold the value and use it, it becomes like an automatic default, the last one that was in. The Acorn System 1 that I'm restoring, which is the first computer I ever owned, and you had to program it in hex and it had a calculator display. It was a marvel of design. It was actually a major inspiration about user interface design, because it was this thing it did that was just beautiful. When you hit reset, okay, you get a row of dots, and there was a button that you would press to, say, modify memory or execute. Let's do executing, right? So the program would still be in memory, when you hit reset, and then you wanted to run the program. So there was a go button. So you had to type in which address you wanted to go to. Right? You press the button, type in the address. It's going to be really tedious if you had to type in the address every time. So you didn't. It remembered the address. In fact, each one of it's exactly the same model as you're seeing here, interestingly. But every command, setting memory, jumping, other stuff I don't remember. But what there would be with that is that it would always remember the last setting. So instead of having like one variable that would handle all of them, so then they would overwrite each other. And gosh knows, you know how often you see that kind of shenanigans. The address for Go was a separate couple of bytes. That's all it cost in memory. A separate couple of bytes to a couple of bytes that were, for modifying memory. And that was beautiful, because typing is tedious, especially on that little, those little finger things. The keyboard wasn't great. Right? Yeah, reset, go. The first press. So how was that implemented? The first press would bring up the value and allow you to modify it, but it would bring up the default value. If the value had been brought up and you press the key again, then it would execute it. See? It's the height of elegance. So you couldn't make it better. It's beautiful. It just resonates with awesomeness. And that's why I tut and moan when I'm using any piece of software, and then I have to do the old, really, do I have to navigate with the mouse through this dialog box, through this entire chain? Couldn't it just remember that this is where I had it last time, and so when I bring it up again, it brings it up where I was last time? That's a pretty good guess. That it's not always true, but if you had to guess, it's like level 0. There is now a level 0. The level 0 of AI, right? Implementation is just remember the last thing the user did and just assume they probably want to do it again. It's brilliant. It's really, it does it, and it's so easy to do. So why is it not done? But anyway, this API uses that principle, and it's the funny thing is that it makes for actually a more elegant architecture under the hood as well. So it's like a win both ways. Yeah. So right, I mean that's good. This means that technically I could start working with Phi and getting Phi to modify a scene. But I'm going to extend the functionality some more first, because I think that would be a good thing to do. One thing that would be really nice is to be able to clear the scene. So this is going to be interesting, because I need with that to iterate through. It's something I haven't done in blueprints yet. I need to iterate through a map. So see, that can be fun in code as well, when you're using different sort of libraries or different architectures, and you think, how do you iterate through a map? Just do a search on Google for how to iterate through a dictionary or a map, and you'll end up with pages and pages and pages of many people saying the same things over and over again. Gives you an idea. So what I want to do is add a command which is going to be clear, and I can actually, at the moment I've got every command is followed by another command. So there's nothing to stop me making some commands that don't have an argument. On the other hand, I kind of like, if I'm going to stay old school, this is an interesting point with design. Okay, what's going through my mind right now is that I have a certain elegance. If you could call this diagram elegant, I have a certain elegance with the fact that all of my commands are in the form of command and argument. There's a command with one argument. I do not have commands with no arguments, and I do not have commands with more than one argument. Right? In fact, even with a vector, it's one argument, but it's numbers separated by commas. Right? So it's still command and argument. Now I need to do a reset. So the first thing you think is make a reset command. Okay, so what? Did you type reset on its own? That breaks the design. That makes it modifies. It makes a special case for the design, and this would translate to added complexity within this blueprint, because I would need to check specifically for this reset, which could appear if somebody could send a command with reset, the word reset, in the middle of the line. So then I need to check for this. And in fact, then it could be that it ends up doing a default if I don't have this catching the reset. And then it just starts making things complicated. So as a rule of thumb, if you've got yourself a design which seems to get you a lot of the way there, seek to add functionality without changing the topology, if you will, of the design solution that you've got. And so think, how can I do that? And now I'm thinking, well, there's nothing to stop me from, always insisting that there are two, they come in pairs, by creating some kind of command that's a general purpose command that indicates, like a control command, right? In fact, why don't I just say, I could have a command which is con for control, and it's followed by the thing I want to do. So then it becomes con reset. This is lovely and elegant because it means it fits into the same structure. I'm not complicating the logic for this. It means that it would be handled it could be handled actually in a command line, one line command, in any number of ways. Because that's another problem, is that if it's treated separately, then when do I do the reset? And there's another reason for not complicating the design. When do I do the reset? So if it's just one line, I suppose I can do the reset on the one line. If it's embedded in the line, and so now you think, oh, but actually that's interesting. I tell you what, we could have a control command to reset the screen in the middle of a line, but because it parses everything first, is the way I've designed it, parse the line first, then figure out what you want to do, then I can check, potentially, for the reset in the line and ensure that any line with the word reset in it, any line with the word reset, that can be done. If reset appears as a command inside a line that has other things like make a cube, then it always does the reset first. And now you could actually say con reset make cube, and it will do the reset and make the cube, and everything is nice. And this is an example of design and technology working together. I was having a chat with someone today about this, but it's like technical design, right? It's like, it's actually, you can achieve elegance of the whole system, and there's a rule of thumb that when you have that elegance with the whole system, it'll just work better. It'll be easier to maintain, it'll be easier to use, You know, it's a thing to look for. Elegance, very important. Keep it old school, stupid. It filtered your previous attempt. Ah, that's the problem, is you can't say anything these days, honestly. Destroy. Oh, because there's a destroy actor here, so I can use that to destroy stuff. So what I'm going to do, all that talking is also useful because it isn't just that I'm talking. I was also, while talking, figuring out what I was going to do and making decisions. The decision is I'm going to embed a con command in here, so I'll implement that. Now this goes con. And following the same kind of philosophy, if I use the same model here, I'm going to create a variable called con. And typically I make that one longer because it's good to keep them short for the network traffic side of things. But this is control. And now, even though this thing's getting more complicated, the point is that I'm following a pattern. So nothing is disturbed in the sense of, you know, I don't need to think here, you know, because I have a pattern that I use and I know the pattern is good. I just copy the pattern. Like, this is not, at this point, rocket science, right? Oh, I've connected the wrong thing there. Okay, yeah, so that goes to there. And then we get this there. So this is going to copy the con, the command, the argument for con into the variable control. So then I am able to execute control command. There is a rule then, which is currently only one control command is permitted per line. If I wanted to make multiple control, I need to change multiple control commands in one line, it would need to be separated by commas after con. It's the easiest way to, and also perfectly. Another point as well is that it's not actually supposed to be, well, it's interesting, it's not really supposed to be a human based interface. However, no, hang on, I'm doing this wrong. It's not supposed to be a human based interface. I mean, in the end, most of the time, it's going to be a program that's sending these instructions. But again, we come back to the issue of elegance. There's something elegant with being able to type them in as well. It just makes debugging and testing and understanding what is going on so much easier, right? And if you're worried about performance, you can then augment your interface with a faster one later, when that'll be easy to implement when everything's basically working. So here we need to go to set control, and after that I have to come back to here. So I've added the control command in, at least it's going to be available. Then I need to figure out how to make it work. At the moment, only one control command is supported, is going to be supported. Or only one is available per line, sorry. When I finish parsing the line, here we do the switch on the string to know what to make. If on this it was a make. If the command was make. The funny thing is that I said the command is make, right? No, all right. Because I was wondering, I could actually make, yeah, because I have make and move. I could. Yeah, because at the moment I have the commands make and apply, so I could make con a command. That's an alternative approach, isn't it? But then the rule is you can only have one command per line. So what would it mean if I put a reset? I'm going to continue with it this way because I can use con as a modifier. I think it will be useful to have. Okay, I'll try. I mean, you know, I can always modify it later. It doesn't work out so well. So in fact, there are two commands here. There is make and apply. But before we do that, I'm going to do a check for a control. Yeah, I'm having second thoughts about that, but control. But it's pretty easy for me to implement right now. I'm actually going to really do a cheesy implementation of it. There is going to be a control variable here. This is basically set if a control command was present. When the line is finished, we are going to do a go to a switch on the control. It's actually easier. With this thing, it's easier to use a switch than it is to use an if. Come to think of it. If it's the default, I'm just going to, for now, use the behavior before that we had before. So it's actually going to silently ignore any unrecognized con. I'll leave it. That's fine. I'm going to leave it like that for now. But if it was reset, then this will happen. And in fact, I can actually then do the reset. So here, this is where the reset will occur. After which it will continue with the rest of it. I think this should work. So how do I iterate through my items? This is the question. I'm going to take here and get the items, and I need to iterate. So now here it goes. Because I'm a programmer, I'm going to use fancy words like iterate. But in Blueprints, they use all kinds of language that's unfamiliar to programmers. Loop through. I'm going to have to look this up. I'm not going to find it. Well, there's a kind of interesting challenge to trying to find it. How about if I go here and I do iterate? Cast a field system meta data iteration. I get rid of context sensitiveness. I look for map. 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 Oh, okay. I can use keys for the map. This would then return, this returns an array of keys. The keys being the names. Except I don't really want the keys, come to think of it. I'm trying to... Yeah, no, I want the values. Let's try that again. Okay, map values. So I suppose that's a valid way. You generate a list of values from the map, but now we need to iterate through the map, and I'm tired of the complexity of doing that. It's just like you have to set up a flipping counter and Lord knows what. I'm just going to check if there are best way to iterate through an array blueprint. What is the best way? You just create an integer variable. Where's the loop? Yeah, I'm hoping for something a little more. It's like, is there a for each? For each loop. Apparently there is for each. There is a for each. I saw a warning about performance, but I really don't care right now. Not like I'm deleting 17,000 objects or something. Loop body. Okay. This is better. This is a better way of looping through it, because for each one, each element, it'll execute this. When it's completed, it'll execute this, and you can get the array element and the array index. I'm kind of wondering if I can do this though. No. All right. So for each one of these, if I get the values, the element that I get is the reference to the thing that needs to be deleted. So actually this should be quite straightforward at this point. Now somewhere down here I had there, destroy actal. Hashed away earlier. This should do it. And then this is what executes when it's so that finished. So anything that's come from unhandled command, that's really annoying. Yeah, I was connecting it to the wrong place. This goes to here. So that little thing at the top there, that is the bit that resets the scene. In theory it should work. Let's see if it does. I'm going to save it. Was playing, switch back to here, and there we got 3 cubes from a test scene. I should be able to just break that and then reconnect. Just make sure I can add something else. So make cube position x 200 0. Let's try that. Name is going to be foo. Oh, did it create a cube? Tell. Yes, it did. It was just behind. It was hiding. There it is. So, yeah. So that's it. Now, if I go and execute my command, oh, it doesn't like it if it's a blank line, but hopefully it still works. Well, we can test that by doing position 300 0, apply position. So it's all still working. Move the cube, and then I do control reset. Interesting. It actually didn't manage to delete everything. Oh, and I know why. And the reason is because I created things without naming them. It surprisingly did not. Oh, right, yeah, it didn't generate an error. If I'm applying something and it already has a name, it already exists. If I make something with a name that already exists, it just overwrites the previous. But then this means it's not longer held in a list to know to delete them. That's interesting. So now the solutions to this. One could pass over the situation where you ask it to make another cube, another object, and you haven't named it. It's got the same name as another one, and throw an error. That's not actually very nice. You could make it ignore it, and it just makes another cube with that name, and tough, but it will clear them if you reset. Fancier than that is to have a bunch of objects all with the same name, and they all exist, and then when you do an operation on one, it does the operation on all of them. That could be interesting, but I don't think I'm going to go there. The easiest way to solve this, rather than worrying about exceptions, if I, like throwing errors, if I don't want it to throw an error, I don't want the thing to crash, but I do want clearing to work. So therefore, a better way of solving this, rather than trying to figure that out, is to do it in a different way. Try stop, which is actually probably better, which is to have a list of scene actors. This is going to be an array, just a straightforward array of actors. So what happens then is that when I create, I add it to the objects to the array. I also add them to the map. I also add them to the array. Add. There is an add unique, I noticed, which probably throws an error. But if it's not unique, it doesn't matter. These references are never going to be it's never going to have a duplicate. So I need to take my scene actors, get scene actors, pop that into here like so. And so now the item to add, which is this. This goes into there as well. The index and newly added item. That's nice. So just doing that is much more elegant. I now have an array that just lists. Its concern is who's it, what objects are in the scene, what actors are in the scene. Is its concern. The map is concerned with what names things have. That's like a separate concern. And so now this should work. Well, in a minute, because what I'll need to do is I can get rid of the values bit here. I can then take the scene actors, get them, scene actors. I'm going to iterate through the scene actors like so, and destroy all the actors in the scene. And once that's finished, I need to clear can I do an array? Array clear. Cull array, to array. Array, clear. It's going to clear the array. So that should do the trick. When I reset, I clear that list. Well, I also need to clear the map. Get that map. So that would implement a good clearing protocol. Go. And here we go. Now let's start like that. I think I have things in the scene. So and now from this position we can go say well, let's do this test we did before. Make cube, name foo, position 300 300 300. Tell me, it didn't seem to make a cube. Possible that this time it really didn't make the cube. Possible that it's inside the other cube. Oh no, it's because I'm still piping in my command. Yeah, I need to. No. Well, that's interesting. It will have made more cubes. I need to just do this without that, so then it will accept my commands. Right. So if I do make cube, never executed that, but it should have now, and now it's got a problem. Attempted to access. Oh, it's because I hit enter, the blank line. I'm going to ignore that. Let me see, make sure that I can move my cube called foo. Position 0, 0, 500. Apply position. That's moved a cube. That's cool. Now let's try and do reset. Control reset. You make me sad. That did not work. So I'll find out why. If we did the reset, I can actually just try sending it again and put a breakpoint in. Con reset. There were stray characters from up arrow. Con reset. Current value reset comes to here. For each loop through the array. It says it's empty, so it's like that array didn't get filled. Why not? Let's put a breakpoint on spawn cube. Play, go back, run this again. Okay. Got the spawn cube. Add. Should be good. Resume. That's a little puzzling. Put a breakpoint here. Switch back to this. Break from that. But control reset. Okay, well that came up to here. Let's have a look. What? Yeah, there are 3 objects in the scene. Oh. Oh, yeah, I put the, it's gonna destroys the list after the first one is removed. You would think it would signal a warning that you, yeah, it's because I put the link in the wrong place. Basically, it should do this when it completes, not while it's doing it, right? Break clear, save that, hit play, go here, run the command, we have our cubes, break out, right there, con reset. Breakpoint is still active. Come on, boom, we have scene clearing. That's a good one because it means that now actually it's functionally complete. You really need that. I mean, limited, but the fundamentals are there. You can create the objects and you can destroy all. Okay, I can't destroy individual ones yet. That's probably not as important as being able to just clear the scene. Make cube position 100, 100, 100. Name who. Rotation 45 degrees around 001. You see up there the bunch of there's a bunch of stray characters from editing. Just copy that and try again. Unknown command. Make cube pos name rotation. It's kind of weird. Didn't make the cube. Make you pause name foo. Try without the rotation. There is something I forgot. When resetting the control, we need to clear it. I forgot to clear that. So it was actually doing that command every time. There we go. Set control. Oh no, that's setting control to control. Doing there. That can set control to control as a string. Set it to nothing. Right. Okay, hopefully that's fixed that bug. Let's try this again. So what we do is we go through here and we go, here is my scene. And then we connect again and we say con reset. And the scene disappears. We can exit that and then try to put the scene back. Yes. That's going pretty flipping well. I think that's a good spot to leave it for tonight. But really racing towards it. I think I'm going to have to, I want to just put in some of the other commands in, like being able to rotate the objects and scale the objects and delete an object probably, and I should probably do that as well. And then I can make an executable and I can start looking at the developing the C++ code that I can then put into the Phi project so that Phi will be able to manipulate the scene over the network. There you go. Thanks for watching. Be back again soon. Take care, everybody. Good night. My voice coming through? Okay. Looking at the... yeah, okay. Take care.